Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Greg Nowlin of Nowlin Studios, and welcome to tonight's varsity wrestling match between Pine Creek Eagles and the Liberty Lancers. It is the 15th of January, 2014. And here come the Pine Creek Eagles. I wanted to give a real quick shout out, and we'll go ahead and wait till all the announcements are over. All right, I'm going to quickly run down through the lineups, assuming that you had a hard time hearing that. At 106 for Pine Creek, Jordan Martinez. 113, Anthony Salazar. 120, Dustin Virgil. 126, Eric Hildenbrand. 132, Chase Fry. 138, Dakota Colonies. Moving on to 145, Chris Kos. 182, Iden Peak. 170, Dylan Dashner. 160, Dylan Dashner. 170, Kason Nowlin. 182, Jeff Curtis, moving down from 195 from last week. At 195, Alex Rathman. 220, Taylor White. And 285, Sam Hammond. For Liberty Lancers tonight, at 106, Nick Martin. 113, Nick Sheriff. 120, Alec Dowell. 126, Tyler Pratt. At 132, Grady Brewster. 145, looks like we're going to skip 138, but at 145, Josh Turner. 152, Jonathan Sigley. 160, Josh Burns. 170, Nick Osveric. 195, Cade Bizu. At 220, Julian Johnson, and rounding out the heavyweight at 285, Josh Trainer. What I started to say prior to some of the earlier announcements that we want to make a correction from last week. We heard from Melissa Dashner, and Aaliyah Dashner was our vocalist last week for the national anthem. Aaliyah is 10, and she did a fabulous job. So We at Nowlin Studios want to have a nice shout out to Aaliyah, and a little disappointed that she was not able to be with us tonight to perform again. We had to just settle for the Pledge of Allegiance. So again, thanks Aaliyah Dashner, and we look forward to some more performances in the future. We're going to get started off with Dustin Virgil. Dustin is wrestling at 120s. His opponent tonight again is Alec Dowell from Liberty. Dustin is going to take the first 2 points. And is working toward the middle of the mat. Pine Creek has yet to lose a duel this year. They've been very, very strong. This is a Wednesday evening, the 15th of January. This varsity team is about ready to get on a plane at 5:30 in the morning and fly off to California to participate in the Battle for the Belt at Temecula Valley High School in California. So you can follow the Battle for the Belt competition online, and we wish our Pine Creek varsity wrestlers the best of luck as they battle in a field between 50 and 60 plus teams. At 37 seconds remaining in the first period, Dustin Virgil takes a pin for the Eagles to score their first victory. It's going to take the team score, Pine Creek 6, Liberty 0. Next up at 126 is going to be Eric Hildebrandt. Eric is going to be battling Tyler Pratt tonight. Eric's going to take the first 2 points. Now at 126, the qualifying weight is 128 after the holidays, so the guys enjoy a 2-pound weight allowance. Not everybody takes the whole thing. There's a number of the guys that are still under their weight class. Tyler Pratt tonight is wrestling at 125.3, while Eric is right at 126.1. Eric is locking up in a cradle here in the first period. Certainly going to get some back points here. Let's see if he can finish him off. Looks like he's going to have to regroup and go back for it. We'll see how many points are awarded here. Eric still working on top with the closing seconds of the first period. In my mistake, I was assuming that the official was going to give Eric some back points in that cradle situation, but he decided not to. So Eric still leads 2-0 with 30 seconds ticked off of the second period. And Eric's gathering up for another cradle. He's pulling back. This one looks to be a very good position. We'll see if he can keep it forward. That looks like a little trouble. It's a little over-rotated, but now he's settled into a good spot. Takes the score up to 7-0. Eric Hildebrandt up over Tyler Pratt. Eric just about got a chance to roll him over right at the end of the second period. Eric will start in the down position to start the third period. Tyler Pratt starts to work and loses control, so that will constitute a 2-point reversal. And we'll see if Eric can switch his hips around and put the down pressure and see if he can get some back points going here. There he goes. Got a quick 2 count for 2 back points to take Eric to 11-point lead, 11-0. The website to follow the Battle for the Belt tournament Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the week of January 15th is going to be www.battle4thebelt.com. So battleforthebelt.com with the 4 being a number. They'll have some live web streaming, and certainly the brackets will continue to be updated as the wrestlers continue on through the tournament. Eric still maintains his 11-0 lead with 12 seconds remaining in the third. So this should just be a matter of formality as the clock cruises down towards the end of this particular match at 1:26. Eric Hildebrandt. Because that's a major decision, that takes the team points up to 10-0. Pine Creek leads. This will be Chase Fry at 132. He is matched up with Grady Brewster from Liberty as they disappear from our screen. Nice 2-point takedown for Chase. Chase is a senior this year. A little more than a minute has expired in the first period. Chase still with a 2-0 lead. They're staying right there in the middle for us. Chase looking to gather up with a cradle. Not going to get it that time. He still maintains his position. Nearly an escape, but Chase takes care of it very well. And the official sees some kind of connection with the hands there, as he calls a lock. Give it a penalty point to Grady Brewster. So at the end of the first, we have Chase Fry over Grady Brewster at the 132 bout. It's going to be 2-1 Pine Creek. Chase opts to be down. They're going to get a caution for red to start a little early. I'd wager say most wrestlers prefer to be on the bottom. A little easier to get a reversal or an escape than to control your opponent for the entire period. So, all right, that was pretty exciting. Didn't score, but Chase escaped. And then there was a quick headlock throw, but the wrestlers were out of bounds. So it was just purely for the excitement of the audience. Real nice for Chase to get at a real quick high crotch. And then a throw, getting around to get us 2. Now again, he's working from the top. It takes the score to 7-1. Chase Fry from Pine Creek at 132. Leading Grady Brewster from Liberty. And Grady is called for the stall. That awards a point to Chase, taking him to 8-1. About 30 seconds remaining in the second period. Chase Fry working with a fairly commanding lead. And the officials at least got 2 down on the mat. So that'd be an additional 2 back points, moving Chase to 10-1. The deficit is 9 for Grady Brewster. And at the end of 2, Chase Fry has 10. Grady Brewster from Liberty 1. Grady will be down. Okay, looks like Grady moved a little early. Now they'll move from the caution from Liberty to the caution to Pine Creek. This time it looks like they get a clean start. And that was an interesting call. Looks like both wrestlers got called for stalling. There was a point awarded for green and for red. So 11-2. About a minute left in the third period. Chase Fry with a commanding lead. Chase nearly got a good position for some back points there, but Grady was able to roll out of it. And with about 15 seconds left, it's going to be tough to make much more headway. And that's how the 132 match will end, with Chase Fry 11 and Grady Brewster from Liberty 2. And that takes the team score to 14-0. Pine Creek leads. We're going to skip over 138 this evening, so Dakota Colonies is going to get the easy hand raise. Next up, 145, Chris Kos is going to be battling Josh Turner. And Chris is favored to place very well at state this year at 145. He qualified for the tournament last year and either had a wrist fracture or an ankle fracture, and he did enough to get into the tournament and had another injury. So he's had kind of a tough time of it, but we're really hopeful this year that things are going to definitely go his way, and we're looking for a very good placement from Chris Kos at the state tournament in Colorado this year. So Chris makes some early work with a 2-point takedown. It's going to give up a point to go to the neutral position. Chris again with a very aggressive and quick move for an additional 2. Gathering up his opponent. Let's see if he can muster some form of cradle here. He does lock hands. He's stepping over, just calculating how he's going to put that to work. And he's going to opt for a different technique here. And so he's got his leg in. The hip is putting pressure on it. This is a very tiring situation for the guy on the bottom. At the end of the first period, Chris Kos up 4-1. Being patient, looking for what the other wrestler is going to give to him. Chris is going to again opt for the neutral position that gives an additional point to the wrestler from Liberty. Josh Turner. That'll be an additional 2 for Chris, taking him to 9-2. Again, working that leg. Good hip pressure, trying to see if he can pull his opponent over to expose his back. And there it is. Chris trying to flatten him out, get him in the right spot so he can do this. Chris has got so many weapons in his arsenal, just figures he will handle it a different way. So he's going to go for a pretty conventional pinning combination. He's got a reverse half in. This is going to be a tough one to recover from, but Josh is doing a great job of fighting through it. Going to wind out the end of the second. Chris Kos up 12-2. So, ladies and gentlemen, if for some reason we kind of get a little bit lost on the score, we'll at least have it caught up at the end of the periods. So Chris will look to stand up here if he can. Going to come up, hand control. Key to this is just to grab those hands, peel them off of the stomach, and turn around. Chris was successful with that. He'll take the 1-point escape, and now a 2-point takedown. And this is getting precariously close to a technical fall. So 15-2, he's up 13 if he gets an additional 2 back points. Like last week, Chris will have a technical fall, which will end up being 5 team points. And there's the 2 count, the 3 count. Now Chris would just as soon have a pin here that gives the team point to 6 versus the 5-point technical fall. But because he didn't pin in that one motion, it's going to take him to 18-2, clearly a difference of over 15 points. And that'll give Chris 5 for the team, taking the team score up to 25-0. Pine Creek on top. Hide and Peak at 152 is going to be facing Jonathan Sigley. Jonathan, a very stocky wrestler. He's a little shorter than Iden. Going to see how this matchup goes. Iden's going to be hungry this week, having faced a ranked opponent. Didn't go Iden's way last week. So I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to be ready to go to work tonight. No score as the wrestlers tumble out of bounds. The official tonight's going to start him back in the middle. That's going to go Iden's way. See, he pulls his hand out, get behind Jonathan for the first 2 points of the match. It's going to be called a potentially dangerous situation when you get the elbows and the shoulders really cranking behind the athletes. As a father of an athlete, I appreciate the fact that they will stop that to prevent injury. All right, he's going to get the 1 point escape, so Jonathan takes 1 point. Iden's still up 2-1. And go for a single, cross the body of his opponent, makes it happen. Great timing on that shot. With just under 10 seconds, Iden scores his second takedown of the match to lead 4-1 at the end of the first. Jonathan Sigley chooses down for the start of the second period. Going to get a caution on Iden. No points involved with the first one. It's a nice return to the mat. Gathering him up. Seeing if there's a chance for a cradle. Jonathan is a really strong wrestler. He's keeping his elbows and his knees. As you see the elbows and the knees get close together, that's where on the offensive side you can gather them up and put that cradle in. So there's an escape for Jonathan. 4-2 as they work out of bounds. There's another single leg. See if he can get around behind to score that. All he's got to do is get his arm out. He's got the rear position there, but he's got to maintain control as Sigley's got his arm. Iden Peak working to free his arm if he can free it up, which looks like it's going to happen here momentarily. There he goes. That'll be an interesting story. So he gave him the 2, so Iden does have 6. Moves it to 6-3. At the conclusion of the second period. Iden Peak at 152 from Pine Creek takes the down position to start the third. Jonathan Sigley from Liberty trying to keep Iden contained here and do something to make up the 3-point deficit. And that's going to work to Iden's favor as he winds up and out of the bottom position for a 2-point reversal. 8-3. Still in the realm of a 3-point team victory if Iden can hang on at this particular point differential. Iden has about a minute remaining in the third. And he'll lose track of Jonathan Sigley for a brief moment before he shoves him out of bounds. Takes the score to 8-4. And I imagine there's going to be a little bit more activity here within the remaining 20 seconds. I beg your pardon. We had a little bit more time than we thought. There now is 21 seconds remaining in the third. Going for the headlock. He's going to give him 2, but he's not counted any back points at this point. It's 8-6. Iden is precariously on the corner there, but if he can stay to his stomach, he's just going to be fine. And that's exactly how it's going to end up. Iden Peak at 152 is victorious over Jonathan Sigley, 8-6. And prior to putting this one in the books, the Liberty coach is going to come and ask a question of the official, but not able to talk him out of what ultimately is going to end up being a Pine Creek victory. An additional 3 points, taking the team score to 28-0. Next up is Dylan Dashner at 160. And Dylan is going to face Josh Burns from the Liberty Lancers. Dylan having a very good year this year. Dylan a junior. Iden Peak at 152, actually a sophomore. Both wrestlers content to kind of grapple in an upright position. Dylan did take the early shot, but wasn't able to land anything for a scoring opportunity. And they reset and work toward the middle again. 30 seconds remaining in the first. Both wrestlers are looking to see if the other leaves an opening. I'll say they wrestled to a stalemate with no score after one. Josh Burns from Liberty is going to take the down position. Josh has attempted a couple sit-outs, and Dylan's put him right back in the same position that he attempted the escape from. And the official is going to restart him. He's giving a caution to Dylan for stalling. And again, we'll have to restart. Minute remaining in the second. The official coming in real close, making sure the arm's okay. He's going to call a potentially dangerous situation. The arm was working up towards the head, which certainly could be a problem if there was too much force applied. Given the Liberty wrestler a verbal caution. If Dylan can work this for the remaining 16 seconds here, he's very good working from the down position and working escapes. So it should play to his advantage going into the third. And the wrestlers and the official don't quite seem to be on the same page for starts tonight. Dylan is going to work for it right away. Very skilled. As soon as you get past a certain point, physics takes over and there's just no way to hold that back. Now Dylan's got a minute 30 remaining to work to see if he can get some back points. Don't believe the official is going to let them just kind of set. And he's going to caution each and award a point each. So that takes the score to Dylan Dashner 3 and Josh Burns 1. Again, making sure that shoulder Dylan loses him for a point. Really's got to make sure that he takes care of business here as they tumble out of bounds. 56 seconds remaining in the third. Dylan Dashner up 3-2. And this is about ready to get spirited, folks. Dylan's going to control with a 2-point takedown on that single. This will be difficult to convince Dylan to give up his controlling position. He's got to continue to work or the official's going to restart him again. It's a really hard crossface. You could hear it all the way up in the stands. A little bit of ooze from the crowd on that attempt. Nice effort at the end there to see if he could come back, but Dylan played that smart and ended up taking it 5-2. Team score moves to 31-0, Pine Creek. Next bout is Kason Nowlin, the sophomore, at 170 versus Nick Osveric. Both wrestlers weigh in just a little under 170, so they're not making use of their 2-point allowance tonight. Some nice aggressive movement out toward the border, and they'll restart in the center again. Still working a little close to the border. Kason trying to work him up tight. Liberty goes for what appeared to be a headlock. Kason just simply ducks underneath it for the 2 and starts to go to work from the top with 45 seconds remaining in the first period. It's always fun when some of the big guys end up having some of the spirited matches. It already seems like that may be the case in this one. Trying to get the back exposed. And not going to get it done before the first period expires. Okay, Pine Creek option. Kason chooses to defer. Liberty is going to take the neutral position to start. Nice grab to control the single leg. Good drive toward the edge of the mat for an additional 2 points. Kason Nowlin is leading 4-0 with 30 seconds gone in the, oh. Now that one definitely disappeared off the left side of the camera because it ended up on the wood. So Kason gives up a point to remain in the neutral position. Stumbles a little bit, gets his head underneath, but he's going to end up working for another takedown towards the edge. The 170s are content to stay in the dark parts of the mat. A little more difficult for us at home to see. This always gives you a little bit less room to work with because you have to go from one side, come back into the mat. He's going to release him again. That takes the score to 6-2. And just not enough room to work at the edge there for an additional shoot. 6-2 with 30 seconds remaining in the second. Nice sprawl from the Pine Creek wrestler. Working to get that single hook on that left. Nice opportunity there as he ended up being kind of piked up. Grabbed both, but just not enough room to work at the edge. Into the second. Kaysen Nowlin from Pine Creek at 170 up 6-2. Takes the down position. Like Dylan Dashner, Kaysen is very accomplished at spinning up and out. So if he can regain control of that right arm and tripod up, this will be interesting to see if he can actually spin up and out and come around for a 2-point reversal. A little more difficult when the other wrestler has a leg in. He's got to flatten out here. Still no point change just because the other wrestler started on top. And there's the stand and the reverse. That's going to be a 1-point escape, taking the points from 7-2. And Kaysen will set up for another shot here. And he'll sprawl, see if he can get around behind for his 2. And he'll grab that ankle. He'll do a heel pick there and simply drive straight forward, taking 2 again, moving to 9-2. "20 seconds remaining in the match." And again, they're precariously close to the edge there for a restart. See if Kaysen can work him towards the center. Yeah, just not enough time remaining to work towards the pin. But nice work from the sophomore in Pine Creek. Takes it 9-2. Additional 3 points for the team. Taking the team score to 34-0. Well, it looks like Jeff Curtis is not going to get a match tonight at 182. This would have been his first match at his new weight, coming down from 195 last week. I'm not sure if we're in for seeing a sweep here. All right, this is Alex Rathman. Going to be battling at 195, Cade Bizu. Alex is coming up from the JV squad from last week. This will be his first varsity match. And he is going to give up the first two with a nice shot from the Liberty wrestler to take the first takedown of the match. And Cade's going to release Alex. Score 2-1. As you can tell, these guys don't pick up their weight with extra body fat. Both wrestlers are lean, mean fighting machines. Cade's going to attempt a shot. Alex defended it well, sprawled out. See if he can get around behind him to score 2. And he needs to come around behind, and he does. But it didn't look like that was enough to score. But that may be. No, still not quite there. If he can just position well enough. And that might be, in my world, that'd have been some kind of points. But it looks like there was just enough scrambling going on that neither one got credit for much. All right, so Alex sets up, and he's going to get a caution, not getting his hand wrapped around the wrestler's elbow. He needs to put his thumb around. Looks like that one passed the mustard there, so. And they're at neutral. 1-3, Pine Creek trailing at the moment. A nice setup for the shot, but it misses, and Cade's actually able to get around behind. 5-1, Liberty leads with a minute remaining in the second period at 195. And he's going to release Alex to score a second point. That'll conclude the second. Alex Rathman trailing 2-5 over Liberty's Cade Bizou. Cade's actually weighing in tonight at about 190.7. And Alex at about 196.6. So the difference in weight is not much at all. Seven to 3 Liberty with 45 seconds left in the third. If Alex can peel that hand off and get back up and around, there's at least one. 7 to 4. Alex's bench willing him to get it done. A good attempt, but a nice block. 18 seconds. And Cade content to just keep Alex at a distance. Nice attempt to see if he can get around. And just not quite enough. But great job with Alex's first varsity match. Cade's certainly a difficult opponent. Should bump the score up 3 for Liberty. We'll get back to the final here. The official notices that, and here we go with 40 to 3. And this is Taylor White at 220. He weighs in at a mean 205 tonight against Julian Johnson from Liberty at 214. So Taylor's given up a little bit of weight. That doesn't tend to slow him down much. And Taylor goes for his pretty patented high crotch fireman. And Taylor also looking to gather up in a cradle. Being 6'1" makes it a little easier than some of the little guys. Taylor's definitely got some good control. And his pin comes with 36 seconds remaining in the first period. Taylor White with an additional 6 for Pine Creek. 46 to 3. Sam Hammond making a quick attempt at a pin. This is going to be tough for the Liberty wrestler to recover from. Sam Hammond takes a pin at 1:35 remaining in the first, moving the team score to 52 to 3. Sam's opponent, Josh Trainer, at 209 in an allowable 285. And Sam weighs in tonight at 222. That'll bring us up to the top of the order with Jordan Martinez at 106 against Nick Martin. And Jordan can be a quick 2 and with a release. Two to 1, another quick single, and he's going to release. This will probably be quite a few of these. And Jordan to a quick 6-2 advantage. Jordan will set up for another shot. Nice quick duck under. Gets to the back. Scores 2 for 8-3. He's got a leg in. Hip is pushing it over. He'll reset. He did get some back points there, taking the score to 10-3. Very similar to the first position. This time it looks like Jordan may have a good hold with some nice control. Good defense by Nick Martin. But at an expense of 3 back points, taking the difference in points to 10, 13-3 with 3 seconds remaining in the first. Jordan will start down. Again, we'll be watching for a 15-point advantage. Quick single escape. And he's going to get 2 points there. 16-3. So one more takedown or 2 back points, and this will be a technical fall. Now, even with a technical fall, if the wrestler is in the midst of pinning the wrestler, the match will be allowed to continue. And so if he decides to pin him right here and doesn't let him go, then they'll let him continue to see if he can pin him. But if he releases him, that's going to be an additional 3 points. That'll move him to 19-3, and it'll be done. So it looks like Jordan's gonna control it there for a 6-point team pin. Score 58-3. Jordan Martinez at 106. Anthony Salazar next at 113, facing off with Nick Sheriff. And Allen Studios are providing some stills from tonight, and that would have been a very nice presentation for some good shots provided by Melissa Nowlin of Nowlin Studios. What a great catch to pin that leg down so he didn't continue to flop over. Anthony Salazar with some quick work at 113. 121 remaining in the first. And the 3 freshmen in the beginning. Didn't look like we were going to get to... well, I see Dustin started it off, so 113 is the final match of the evening. Final score 64-3 Pine Creek. In tonight's varsity coverage at Pine Creek High School in Colorado Springs, this is Greg Nowlin from Nowlin Studios and from Melissa. wishing all of you a pleasant evening, and we hope to have you back on another Nowlin Studios broadcast. If you do have any questions, or if you would like a DVD copy of this particular broadcast, if you would email us at nowlinstudios@gmail.com, and we will go ahead and put that together for you. And again, if you have any corrections or comments for us, please, again, send us some comments at nowlinstudios@gmail.com. And this is Greg Nowlin wishing all of you a great evening.